guys, it's me, Lindsay, the one and only Mexican in Utah. Wait, should I really keep the intro? Like, then what is it gonna be?
Hola.
No. Hey guys, it's me, Lindsay Olivas, and today...
Wait,
Jared.
back.
Hey guys, it's Lindsay Olivas, and today I'm going to be telling you guys a story about Subway. Okay, so basically I worked at Subway for approximately like 2.5 to 3 years. Yes, that is a very long time. I started working there when I was, why are you guys laughing at me? I started working there when I was 16, fresh out of the
womb.
Basically, right as I turned 16, I got a job. It's because I already had a car by that point.
Okay.
You're ruining my eyelashes.
3, 2, 1.
Wow, I'm so surprised! And my parents wanted me to start paying for my insurance and gas and stuff. So right away, if I wanted to keep my car, I had to have a job. No big deal. So this guy, his name is Phil. Love you, Phil. Shout out to you. He was my neighbor and he was in my ward, and he would give all of the teenagers in the neighborhood jobs at Subway. So everyone in my neighborhood worked there at least one time in their life. So I hit him up and I was like, hey Phil, can I have a job? And he goes, yes, of course. So right away, I just got the job. I didn't do an interview process, anything. I just went right into it. And the very first thing, well, okay, so I worked inside a Walmart Subway. So inside the Walmart, there was a Subway, and right connected, we like shared a location. We shared like a lobby basically together. It was Subway and Auntie Anne's. And so it's not just like Subway coworkers you're working with, you're also working with Auntie Anne's people. So I would take pictures of the Subway schedule and the Auntie Anne's schedule, so I know who I'm gonna be working with at all times. So I had this coworker, but she didn't work at Subway, she worked at Auntie Anne's. She was basically like, she wasn't the manager of the Auntie Anne's, but she had worked there long enough to where she knew everything and she acted like the boss. We're gonna call her Gina. So she looked like she was approximately 56 years old, and she was actually only 35. Do you want to know how that works out, kids? Drugs. So Gina was a very scary and mean lady. She was not very nice, and every time I worked with her, I always felt tense, even though she wasn't my boss. She didn't even work at Subway. She just thought she knew everything, even at Subway. I think she even said that she had worked at Subway in her past years of living, but like, who cares? You don't work there now. You're not my boss. And I was new, so I just didn't know. She would tell me what to do. Sometimes she was nice about it, but most of the time she wasn't. And there was this one... How do I explain this? So I don't know if you guys can relate, but there are some coworkers where they just don't have anybody else to talk to but you, and I don't like that. I feel like if you're not my close friend, you shouldn't be talking about like deep things with me. I just feel uncomfortable, especially because I was my first job, literally like my first month working there, and she's talking about me. I'm not gonna go into detail of the things she told me, but should I? She was just telling me about her life and how she was on medication for certain... These are just a few things that she told me. She told me way more things. So she was on medication, she told me, and how her medication is so expensive, and when she's on the medication, she's like normal, but when she's not, she goes psycho. And I was like, if she was nice one day, I was literally like, wow, she must be taking her medication. But anyway, so that's not the worst thing that she told me. And she showed me... Okay. So she got a surgery and she lifted up her shirt to show me her scars. I think that's illegal. I was 16 years old, and this 35-year-old lady is just showing me her scars on the, like, what are you doing? Like, and she also told me, guys, that her husband, ex-husband, raped her children, and how he's finally in prison, and she was jumping for joy and shaking me. She was like, yay, my husband's in prison! So yeah, her husband's in prison, and she was shaking me of how excited she was about that. And me being so young, I didn't know what to say. I was just like, oh my gosh, like, congratulations. And her kids would sometimes come in to like visit her at work, and all I would be thinking is, I'm so sorry about your life. She wasn't even the rudest to me. My coworker and one of my friends, her name is London, she would actually, because London, no offense London, but she wasn't a very good worker, and Gina hated that about her, and she took took London into like a corner and started like yelling at her and started like saying, I'm gonna get you fired because of this, this, and this, and got all up in her face, which by the way, London was the same age as me. She was like 16 and this Gina lady was like 35. Like, what are you doing? Why are you yelling at kids? Like, what's wrong with you? So Gina ended up, like, long story short, with all of these things happening, she was rude to customers. She would always be on drugs, I think. Like, not gonna lie, I think she was like actually on like cocaine. And so long story short, I ended up quitting at that store. I ended up going back. Yes, I did. But I ended up quitting because of things that happened that I might share on this YouTube channel later in my life. But I ended up quitting and I was just asking Phil, my neighbor who is in charge of all of the Subways, if like what happened to her, if she's still working there, because I was just telling him how crazy she was and what she would talk to me about and it would make me so uncomfortable. And he basically told me, oh, Gina doesn't work. Whoa, I just saw lightning. Oh, Gina doesn't work here anymore. And I was like, oh, why? And he goes, because we were seeing how she was acting and we asked to take a drug test because in the paperwork you sign before you get the job is we can take random drug tests out like whenever we want. And she refused to take the drug test. And that's in like not what she agreed to in the paperwork. So basically she got fired. So that's one of my Subway coworker stories. There's a lot worse.
Didn't she like try to like drown you in London in the...
Oh, yeah, okay. So she told other coworkers, me and London. So at this time, there was only really adults working at Subway and me and London were the only like high school kids working there. That all of a sudden put a target on our backs from the other coworkers. She told, oh, this was another thing that she also got fired about because this is so scary. She told other coworkers and I found out from other coworkers that she wanted, so if you've ever worked in a food place, there's like 3 sinks, like one for the soap, one for rinsing, and one for the sanitizer. She said that she wanted to take London and my head, mine in the sanitizer water and one in London in the dishwasher soap, and like drown us. Yeah, she was definitely on drugs, for sure. Like, who says that? Who says that to other people? That's fine, I guess. It's actually not fine, but if you think about that, like, what is wrong with you? And then you just tell other people, this is what I want to happen to Lindsay in London. Like, what the crap? So scary. I hated coming to work. And she would work like almost every day because she was an adult and obviously she worked like full time. So every time I would go into work, I was always so scared of her and she just made me feel so uncomfortable because she would always show me body parts that I didn't want to see. It wasn't anything gross. It wasn't like her tits or anything. It was just like her back and her stomach. But I still like didn't want to see that. Like, I don't know you. Anything else that I missed? So anyway, that was just one of my many coworker psychopaths from Subway. I have a lot worse. This isn't even my worst. This was just like my first encounter of being in like the Subway psychopath world. I have a lot more. I've worked there for so many years. I have so many people to talk about and expose. I'm ready for it. So thank you for watching this video. Please like and subscribe to my channel and comment down below of what other stories, political, whatever things you want to see of me. And yeah, thanks for watching. Bye guys. That was disgusting. Bye guys!